I've been down to Florida before where they've played like that. They were really ready to play, and they were excited about playing, and they played great, and we did not. Disappointed that we weren't able to guard them better. They didn't do anything that we weren't prepared for, but we certainly didn't look like we were prepared. So we get back to the drawing board and get ready to go down and play Ole Miss.
How do you kind of, mentally for the team, just went on the road again after such a big loss? How do you kind of?
Well, the only best thing about it is the score's tied 0-0. So we're not down 15, which we were within, 6 or 7 minutes of that game. So the challenge is, Mike White is the disciple of Andy Kennedy. So there are some things that Florida did pressing us and some things that bothered us that I'm sure Ole Miss will try to duplicate, and so have to do a better job, attacking pressure, but not playing out of character. And then Ole Miss has typically, played a lot of zone and changed defenses between man, 2-3, 1-3-1. So there's a lot to prepare for. At this time of the year, it's a lot easier because we've got basically everything. A lot of our stuff is in. It's just a matter we haven't played against some of that stuff in a while. So we'll try to get freshened up on it today.
Bruce, for you guys to win a road game against a team like Florida Ole Miss, do you feel like this team has to play up to its potential and really put in a full, full?
If you look at our wins, there's a lot of guys that when you're playing 7 guys, you need everybody needs to play well, and so we can't. There's just not a lot of margin for error for us, and the one good thing about the Florida loss was, I'm not sure anybody played well, and so we'll play better.
Bruce, I know after your post-game radio show there, you mentioned that you guys have been going so many consecutive days straight, and I guess yesterday you had off. I mean, how big was that just to get the guys some rest?
It was 26 straight for the coach. We've gone every day since we came back from break. The players, by rule, there was probably at least one Wednesday when we came back after a Tuesday game where they had off, but it had been 26 straight. I had texted all my coaches and staff yesterday and just kind of reminded them that that's how many days we had gone, and if there was any chance for any of them to get any rest yesterday, I wanted them to. So for those that didn't have the Ole Miss scout or things like that, I'm hoping that we got a little bit of rest or a little bit of time, a little bit of normalcy on Sunday. It does wear you down, but that's the grind. We love the grind. I mean, we love it. That's kind of what we live for. So, but it had been 26 straight days.
Anything new on Purifoy?
I have not heard anything. But you know what? We're getting to a point where, I would think that, and I know I've said this before, but I really think that by the end of this week or beginning of next, we should know, get a final decision.
Bruce, how do you go about preparing for Ole Miss with so many of their top guys either questionable or possibly out for a game? How do you go scout
That's
that?
easy. I've had 3 guys out all season, so I mean,
right.
The whole SEC season, so not that difficult. I think that you've got to try and first of all, you got to plan on Moody or no Moody. I mean, that's a big difference for them. Very impressed with how they played against Mississippi State at Mississippi State without him. They did simplify the playbook a little bit in the sense that they ran some of their best sets a lot and did not have to run their counters. They took their and they did really well with it. And so there've got to be some things you have to game plan specific for Moody. The other guys, they're just obviously Ruiz is he's a monster in there, and just there's no way to predict whether he'll be back or not. What they'll do is just get much better at his position. guys. Not that they're not good there, they're good, but he's a really good player.
Bruce, not to focus on Purefoy too much, but is there a point where it's like, even if he becomes eligible, it's like, well, it's so late in the season, is it not worth it to even have him play?
We're probably getting close to there. We're probably getting close to that point.
How much of a difference do you think he would have been making?
I don't want to talk about it, it doesn't, at this point it doesn't, if you don't mind, at this point it doesn't. There will be time to talk about that later, but right now, it's just, we gotta focus on what we have and focus on, again, we talk about playing hard, talk about playing better. I do think the energy, the effort, the intensity, all that was expended on 2 great wins for us against Kentucky and Alabama. But again, if you look back at those games, almost everybody really played well. I mean, there's just no margin for us. And our guys know that. That's what it takes.
Bruce, couple of tough starts on the road. What do you do to try to get off to a better start beginning this week?
Well, just got to get stops. We weren't able to get stops against Vanderbilt or Florida. And offensively against Missouri, we got stops against Missouri. Those are our last 3 games. We just didn't score. We had a lead, 15-10 or something like that. It should have been, I thought, 30-10, 25-10. We just didn't execute offensively at Missouri early. But get stops. We got to get stops.
Everybody good?
Turn.
Thank you, Coach.
I just have one more. But, sorry.